Also, we've just been watching, Shubhaji. There's lots of kids learning here at Artium, so the foundation is most important.
Yes.
So for the beginners, how what do you think? Like, what would you advise to teachers that they should adopt, especially as practicing techniques for the children?
We've prepared actually for RTM a certain kind of a guide which is not written in stone. And again, I keep saying that people can, because this is so much customized training.
Mm.
And RTM gives the opportunity for people to teach one-on-one. So it's
Right,
one student and one
one
teacher.
teacher.
So I think it's very important that those basic, sur lagana, sometimes it's very boring to take up the tanpura and just do sa every day for
Hmm.
10 minutes. लेकिन वो ज़रूरी है. षड्ज आप नहीं लगाएंगे तो आगे क्या
आगे
जाएगा?
क्या?
It's like the
Exactly.
basic foundation. Similarly, those small exercises which we all learnt, na sa re ga ma ga ma, etc.
Paltas, yeah.
Those paltas need to be translated into different rags also. To ni re ga ma in Yaman
In Yaman.
or any other rag that you learn. I think it's important to remind people that those are not just exercises. Those are tools that you can use when you finally start singing
Mm.
and improvising and elaborating. So I think, you know, uh, I would say that swar lagana, shads lagana has to be there, whether
Mm.
it's for 5 minutes, 10 minutes. And in fact, even in the course that I designed, I've given certain sort of suggestions that for 10 minutes every day, just make them do shad sadhana first. Or, for example, after you've taught one rag, go back to the rag that you taught earlier and make them just, go through the basic phrases of that particular rag. I
Yeah.
think, because each rag has its own intervals. So your voice learns to jump from one swar to the other. Some rags have very uneven intervals. Others have, let's say Bilawal will have very sare gama pada nisa. It's like a shuddh scale. But when you sing, let's say Marwa,
Ah,
those intervals are very different.
right.
So I think the voice training that you get from jumping from one swar to another, gliding from another swar back to another swar, all of this is very important. And without that accuracy of swar pitching, uh, आगे कुछ बात नहीं बनती. So that really is something that needs to be taught right at the foundation and continued throughout.
And I think what you just said will also help people in performances
Yes.
because you're actually doing one rag, then shifting to another one, and then doing another one. So you
Yes.
need to be able to move
Yes,
between
yes.
them
And
very
you're a singer,
easily.
so you know that very well.
Well, we have one of my very favorite parts of the interviews. We have audience polls where people pick something that you have to perform for them. And I
कुछ
love this
मुश्किल
because
वाला मत दे दीजिएगा.
I love this because I also get to listen to such maestros over here. So we have our very first audience poll right now. Which of the following ragas would you want Shubhaji to perform for us this evening? And we've got Ramkali, Shuddh Sarang, Madhuvanti, Yaman, and Puryadanashri. I'm going to repeat that for you. We've got Ramkali, Shuddh Sarang, Madhuvanti, Yaman, and Puryadanashri. I must tell you, you've got the poll on your screen. Go ahead and pick the favorite rag. Make sure your raga wins and she actually performs that rag. So keep on clicking that button and make sure that, your favorite rag is sung this evening. So we'll keep waiting for the poll results. And in the meantime, of course, I will move on with other questions as well. There's a very interesting question from Indra Varshne, saying right way of practicing double and triple swara akar.
Well, it depends. First, I think all practice must be graded. So you don't start practicing double and dohri and tehri swar
In the big.
at a very fast speed. It is necessary to do it uh, in thale first, then move to dugun, chogun if you can, and slowly go ahead instead of sort of trying a very fast Tan right in the beginning. I think it's very important to have the patience to say, let me go through the rigor of doing this, at a very slow speed first and then moving ahead. I think that is because the clarity, the dana that you require for that, it's called dana. It's like a,
Yes.
like a gem that is cut out. So if you don't have that dana, then it doesn't really work. and the clarity of is not there, although speed may be there. So I think it's important that it has to be done in slow pace first, in thale, dun, chogun, atgun, etc.
And slowly develop
Yes,
to bring it there.
yes.
Also, you are actually like a Tumri Dadra exponent yourself. And so, what are the development and training methods and insights that are critical to develop oneself as a competent Tumri Dadra exponent?
I would say that, it's very important for a Thumri singer to know rags well, because how can you move out of a rag if you don't know what that rag was? So first, if you're singing khamaj, you need to know khamaj, and you need to know how to move out of it and come back to it also.
Right.
And in a sense, that is very important. People currently, the general way in which a lot of people sing Thumri is to sing the composition in a rag and then abandon the rag almost entirely, which I don't think was how I was taught to sing Thumri. So it's very important that the rag rules be learnt, be there in your mind. They should be there in your mind, and very consciously you need to move out of them. Selecting a rag where the moving away from the original rag and the coming back to it is not like patchwork, but it's like blended in so well that seamlessly you move out of it and seamlessly you come back into it. That is very important. Also, I think an understanding of literature is good. The great singers in the past, also knew a lot of literature which they had memorized. So, for example, if you were singing a dadra about a woman's beautiful eyes or the gaze, kahe mare najariya savariya ho, then you could sing the composition but also weave in dohas, couplets, in either Braj Bhasha or Urdu. For example, one very popular one that is often sung when you're talking about najar or nazar or the gaze is Amiye halahal madbhare shwet sham ratnar jiyat marat jhuk jhuk parat jehi chitvat ek bar. Such so beautiful is the gaze. Shwet, white, the white of the eye. Sham, the dark part, the pupil. So beautiful is this lady's gaze that if she once lowers her gaze and lifts it, you could die in that one. So now this is a if you don't remember this and you have to go through your iPad hunting for the right doha, that doesn't work. Right. So this must also be internalized and be part of your repertoire. And you must have sung it so many times that you can effortlessly, knock on the back of your head and say, okay, today I'm singing this, let me take out this doha.
Yeah.
So this is another important aspect of studying.
And it could also be different rags, different interpretations. So
absolutely.
You should be able to also
Yes.
put that in. Oh,
Yes.
wow. That is phenomenal, actually.
Yes.
We've got another performance right now, but let me remind you, there's an audience poll happening and we've asked which of the following ragas that you want Shubha Ji to perform for us. Ramkali, Shuddh Sarang, Madhuvanti, Yaman and Purya Dhanashri. Those are your options. Make sure that you're clicking on the poll and giving us your results and make sure that your raga wins. Go for it. And right now we've got Nilanjan Sen from West Bengal, and the teacher is Yogesh Ji, and Nilanjan is an upcoming ghazal and light classical singer, hails from the land of the red soil, Birbhum, which is Shantiniketan. His childhood was surrounded by the tranquil and musical atmosphere of the ashram of Shantiniketan, and along with all the other education, his musical journey started with many renowned singers and gurus at the ashram. Talim was mainly in Hindustani classical music and Tagore's songs. At present, due to occupational commitment, Nilanjan is based in Bangalore and continues his musical journey with quite a few ghazal shows at different venues. And he also runs a home studio for self and commercial music production. Nilanjan, welcome. And Yogesh, welcome again. Wonderful to have you all, and we've also gotten Shubha Ji here, and she's going to be listening to you today.
नमस्कार शोभा जी,
नमस्ते।
आपके चरणों में नमस्कार। मिलने का तो मौका नहीं मिला, फिर भी दूर से सही। और योगेश जी मेरा गुरु जी, नमस्कार। आपके दोनों के आशीर्वाद के साथ कोशिश करता हूँ एक काफी राग का द्रुत सुनाने के लिए। 3 ताल। तानपुरा ज्यादा जोर तो नहीं है?
नहीं, ठीक है,
साउंड
ठीक है।
सा रे गा आ रे आ आ जा रे जा रे जा रे जा कोयलिया जा रे जा रे जा रे जा रे जा रे जा कोयलिया जा रे जा रे जा 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 रे जा रे जा कोयलिया बन में जा रे अम्बुआ बन में जा रे अम्बुआ रे बन में जा रे अम्बुआ रे जला दे सूर का दिया जा जा रे जा 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 रे जा Padani sapa, padani sa re maga sa re, saga re maga gada pa padani sa ja re ja re ja re ja, ja re ja re ja re ja, ja re ja, ja ja re ja re ja re ja जब गाए तो पंचम जब गाए तो पंचम जब गाए तो पंचम मन ले जाए हमें दूरती दूर मन ले जाए हमें दूरती दूर भगति भाव से मांगू दुआएं भगति भाव से मांगू दुआएं मिले वो सुर की लहरिया जा जा रे जा 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 रे जा रे जा निनी धनी पानी दब मगरे गरे धनी सरे गरे सागा मा प जा रे जा रे जा गरे सनी दब मगरे सपा निनी सा निनी सा निनी सा निनी सा रे सा रे सा रे गरे सा मगरे सा प द प मगरे सा नि म प द नि जा नि द प मगरे जा जा कोयलिया जा रे जा रे जा रे जा 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 रे जा पद प मगरे जा म प ध नि सा सा जा ग रे सा नि द प मगरे कोयलिया जा रे जा कोयलिया जा रे जा रे जा गा सरे धनी पद रे गा सरे ध धनी ध प धनी ध प म ग रे सरे ग म प सरे ग म ध सरे ग म ध जा रे जा रे जा 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 रे जा जा रे जा रे जा रे जा कोयलिया जा रे पधनी सा ध धनी ध प नि ध प ध आ सनी ध प ध नि सा ध सनी ध प ध आ सनी ध प म ग रे रे सनी ध प म ग रे गा रे सनी ध प म ग रे सरे ग म प सरे ग म ध सरे ग म जा रे जा कोयलिया बन में जा रे अम्बुआ बन में जा रे अम्बुआ रे बहत सुर नदिया जा जा रे जा रे जा रे जा जा
Thank you.
थैंक यू मुझे सुनने के लिए.
Lots and lots of claps and hearts and thumbs up signs still coming for you. Wonderful, Nilanjan. And Yogesh, thank you so much for joining us as well. And
Thank you.
Shubhaji will now
Thank you.
say something about the performance.
Actually, I didn't get a chance to thank Yogesh ji earlier for his wonderful
Yes.
rendition. It's raining here, and all your meers and gamaks were fantastic to listen to with this kind of rainy weather outside. So thank you for
Thank
that, and thank you for being a
Thank
part
you.
of the academy and preparing such a accomplished student. I hope that he gets more time to learn from you and to
Yeah.
get more of your wisdom and knowledge. Thank you, Nilanjan. You have a lovely voice, and I'm sure that under the guidance of Yogesh ji, you will improve and your music will become more evolved. So do spend more time learning from him and practicing. I know it's difficult, but with such a wonderful guru, you shouldn't let the chance go.
Thank you so much,
Thank you.
Shubhatai. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
It's always been a pleasure to meet you and Chandu Mama always आपकी बहुत याद निकालता है. Chandrasekhar Swami.
जी जी जी.
So I just wanted to mention that simple and it's always a pleasure and जैसे एक देवी की माँ की मूर्ति देख के वैसे ही आपको देख के लगता है. So pranam. Thanks a lot. Thanks a lot.
Wow, beautiful words there. Thank you so much, Yogesh, and thank you, Nilanjan, for joining us, and all the best with your journey as well. Shubha Ji, you've been a committed teacher yourself, and so many of your students have become teachers themselves as well. So, आपने syllabus create किया है, not just for us at Artium, but also at other platforms. So, what's the essence of your own development and realizations and style, that you've introduced into this pedagogy, and have you infused any particular of those processes into the training that you've brought into all your
That's a great
curriculum?
question, Lavanya ji. So what I've tried to look at, particularly in my work for RTM, is that I've tried to look at existing models and not say that I'm going to reject any one of them. So, for example, this is an online platform. What are the strengths and limitations of this platform? What can we do with the traditional way? Now, for example, this customized training of one teacher only teaching a
Yes.
student, I think that's a great idea, and it borrows from the Guru Shishya tradition.
Parampara, yes.
And at the same time, there is a kind of a duration, a kind of set syllabus, which is sort of following the institutionalized way of training. But what I've also found is that very often, in institutions, what happens is that you have, let's say, 15 rags to be learnt in a year. Now, this is I feel, a very big gap between the way we are taught in the Guru Shishya Parampara and in
Yes.
institutions. It's not possible, to learn 25 or 15 or 20 rags in 1 year. At the same time, here in the class, in the course, what we've tried to do is to keep reminding ourselves that Hindustani classical music is not only about singing a bandish in one. That is like learning a song,
Yes.
which is over in a few minutes. Using that bandish as a seed idea to be able to elaborate that, that is what we have tried to plan for the student, keeping in mind the institutionalized way of teaching, where a class is for a set number of minutes. You get a set number of classes in a particular course. But we've also given the possibility of your working with your teacher in a riyaz session, because very often it's very difficult for young people or beginners to know exactly how to do riyaz. So they say, I don't know how to do riyaz, and it is
Exactly.
important for the guru to supervise riyaz also. So we've built in those aspects which are such a part of the personalized training and tried to weave them into the course that I've designed for RTM. Also, saying that refer to following compositions, but if you wish to teach, so it's not like about saying teach only these two compositions from this book in so and so rag.
Right.
If your guru has taught you a good composition which you wish to pass down to a student, please do so. But please do remember that it was made by somebody. Remember that you have to tell the student कि ये मेरे गुरु ने बनाई है, so that the the information is passed on. You know, too often what happens is that traditional hai. अरे पर traditional है तो किसी ने तो बनाई होगी ना. So I think it's important to pass on this information and to make the student also an informed student who is able to take that composition, love and enjoy the beauty of the composition, but also be able to elaborate on it. That's what I've tried to do, keeping in mind the many modules which each of them have taught us something. So I have not rejected any either institutionalized training or Guru Shishya Parampara. I feel both are important.
Yeah.
And the online platform customized. This course is customized for online training, and I know that Artium is very particular about technology. So I'm hoping that as we go along, there'll be some very new innovations as well, which we will be able to introduce in the teaching pedagogy as well.
Yeah.
So I think those are the things that I've tried to keep in mind while working
In
on
fact,
this.
already I would say, considering the way the students are singing,
Very well.
for online teaching, I
Yes.
think that's
Yes.
absolutely excellent.
Yes.
So in
Yes.
fact, the traditional method, जैसे आपने अभी कहा कि, there's 15 rags and, whereas we learn just, one rag for 2 years. So, the traditional method requires very, very long years and, you're with the teacher, literally living with them day in, day out and imbibing it. And right now, I think, that's not the way the world is going. So how do you think this gap is bridged at Artium?
Well, we've all kept in touch with our students really through the online method during these 2 terrible years,
Yes.
which really drove us quite crazy. But I imagine how much more crazy it would have been if I'd not met my students at all. And I'm maybe they are saying that अच्छा होता तो नहीं मिलती डांट नहीं
No,
पड़ती.
I'm
But-
sure not. I'm sure not.
But really speaking, it was a boon that we were able to see each other despite all the glitches and problems that also occur with technology, to be able to communicate with each other, to keep in touch and to also learn and teach. So I think it really, the platform already a lot of people are exploring a lot more. For example, I think there are people who are looking at, the lag that happens,
Yeah.
overcoming that. So I think once that is sorted out, it'll be even better.
Wow. So I hope you guys are, punching in your poll results. We are actually, we've got our poll results here. Yes. What do we have? We've got Yaman with the maximum number of votes and 29% votes for Yaman. And then we've got Madhuvanti and then the rest of them follow. So Yaman it is.
Since my guru, Pandit Ramashray Jhaji, was a wonderful composer, I'd like to share a composition that he has composed.
Wow.
He also brings in his chhap of Ram Rang in the composition. So I'd like to share this with you.
Beautiful.
Devi Dayani Dani Data, Devi Dayani Dani Data, सकल रिद्धि सिद्धि के नाम लेत कटे कोटि विघ्न बाधा, हा देवी दयानी दानी दाता, देवी दयानी दानी दाता, सकल रिद्धि सिद्धि के नाम लेत कटे कोटि विघ्न बाधा, देवी दयानी दानी दाता, सिंहवाहिनी सुर रंजनी, सिंहवाहिनी सुर रंजनी, चरण वंदनी राम रंग के, तेरो नित नित गाऊं गुण गाथा, देवी दयानी दानी दाता, देवी दयानी दानी दाता, देवी talking about, working on, let's say, tans. So, Devi, it's the same thing, but I'm adding on to it. My motive comes back. So I choose a motive. Gagarisa is my motive. I'm bringing back the motive each time, and that's what makes it logical as well. There's a design to it. It's not anarchic, and yet I'm also adding on to it each time. And then usage of voice also. Devi Dayani. Devi Dayani. Devi Daya. I'm not using tal right now, but with tal come more ideas, more punctuations, more ideas of where to stop, where to give a pause, where not to give a pause, how to use the lilt of the tal. All of that comes in, and with good accompaniment, that becomes even more exciting.
Absolutely. Wow. What a wonderful performance there. Thank you so much, Shubha Ji.
Pleasure.
And blessed to be here and listen to you as well. And in fact, I was actually going to ask you that in today's day and time, it's very, very difficult, the older times, people became stars in classical music performances as well. Today's time, first of all, the kind of riyaz that is happening is not really as good. And also, I feel that the number of years that people need to invest, they're actually running out of patience. and they don't have parents who are pushing, I think. So I'm just asking you that do you think that this is a threat to classical music and classical performances coming up in the future?
No, I'm very happy to say that it isn't. There are wonderful young singers.
Right.
And I listen to all of them, and I feel so good that despite all this talk about how it is difficult,
Yes.
being a musician is tough. But I'm so happy that there are so many young musicians who are singing brilliantly, whose talim, their gurus, their parents, their families are really supporting them. And I really think all we need to do is to give them our attention. When I say us, I mean listeners. Please give them your love. Please express your love by listening to them. Don't let them sing to an empty hall. Buy your tickets and
go.
Please buy a track. If you can't buy the full album, please buy the track. Show your love once a year at least.
Absolutely.
So I think once we do that, there are brilliant young singers. They can be stars any day, and I will be buying the tickets and cheering for them. So
Wow.
I'm hoping that everyone will join me.
Everyone, yes, absolutely wonderful. We've got another performance coming up right now, Shubha Ji, which is Ahana Balaji from Chennai, and she's going to be performing Rag Khamaj, and her teacher is again Pranamita. Ahana is 11 years old. She's learning music since the last 3 years. She loves music. She feels happy whenever she listens to music, and she wants to keep learning music forever and wants to make her teachers proud. And apart from music, she loves dance, painting, and books as well. And she's currently learning from Pranamita Chatterjee. Pranamita Roy, in fact. Okay. So, Ahana, welcome. And Pranamita, welcome once again.
Thank you, ma'am. Namaste, ma'am.
Namaste.
Ma'am, today I'm going to present Koyaliya Kuke Sunave, ma'am, in Rag Khamaj. कोयलिया को सुनावे सखी रे मैं कबीर सतावे उन बिन झूल सुहावे निसिया हरी हरी बिजली चमके जियर मोरा डर पावे कोयलिया सुनावे कोयलिया सुनावे कोयलिया सुनावे इतनी विनती मोरी उनसे कहीं हो जाए इतनी विनती मोरी उनसे कहीं हो जाए इतनी विनती मोरी पिया से कहीं हो जाए उन बिन जियरा कसई जाए सरगा कहतरी अली मोरा सैया घरन आवे कोयलिया सुनावे कोयलिया सुनावे कोयलिया सुनावे कोयलिया सुनावे 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 कोयलिया सुनावे कोयलिया सुनावे सुनावे कोयलिया सुनावे कोयलिया सुनावे कोयलिया सुनावे सखी रे मोए बिरह सतावे उन बिन कछुना सुहावे निसिया धियारी करी बिजली चमके जियरा मोर डर पावे कोयलिया सुनावे 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 इतनी बिनती मोरी पिया से कहीं उजान उन बिन जियरा सही जाए सरगा कहतरी अली मोरा सैया घरन आवे कोयलिया सुनावे कोयलिया सुनावे कोयलिया सुनावे सुनावे सुनावे।
Wow, lovely.
My God, so beautiful. And I would say, in fact, so much maturity and so much, control and everything at such a young age. And they're also managing the iPad and switching off the tabla and everything is happening. I'm truly impressed and I'm truly, truly happy to see all the kids who performed this evening, actually. So, Shubha Ji, what would you like to say to Ahana?
आपकी तारीफ पहले गुरु की तारीफ करनी पड़ेगी. That she has really prepared her very well.
Very well.
And Ahana, thank you. What a lovely voice you have. What a wonderful
Thank you so
gift you have. You have a great guru. So please keep learning. Do you know who made this composition? The person's name, the composer's name is there. Do you know? who that is?
No, ma'am.
So ask. See, just see in the antara, the name of the composer is there, hidden there. Not actually hidden, it's right there. What is the third line in the antara? Itni binati
Una bina
jiyara.
nika sohi jai.
And after that?
Sanad
So Sanad is the name of the composer. Sanad Pia is the name of the composer. So you can look for these little treasures, and your guru will tell you who that was. Now find out. Very eminent composer of Thumri, Bandish ki Thumri compositions. So I'm sure you will learn more, and this is the way in which theory and practice can be matched. And I'm sure Pranamita ji will teach you all these things. But really, what a fabulous teacher you are. You know, really, it is wonderful the way you have prepared. I mean, it can't be more than a year, I think, since you've been teaching them. Both your students were absolutely wonderful. Thank you.
Thank you, ma'am.
Thank you so much, ma'am. I would really like to thank my teacher Pranamita ma'am and Anand
Very
sir
good.
for teaching me this song, ma'am.
Good.
My God. Thank you so much for joining us, Ahana and Pranamita ji. Once again, thank you for coming on.